do it.
Hello, skewers, and welcome to the bunker. I've been saying that consistently wrong every time, but welcome to the bunker with RSG. We're going to go over some State of Survival with you guys as we do every Friday night at 9, along with my squeaky chair. I just told Delete on our pre-chat that I need to get a new chair. I'm squeaking all over the place. But thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you. This will probably be a kind of a short stream because I've been warned by law members that I can't keep Delete up too late tonight because, as we all know, it's SVS tomorrow. So,
Senor Sleepy, this guy.
Yeah, whenever we stay up way too late on Friday nights, he wakes up at like what 9. You roll out of bed.
You know
at
what
9
it is?
o'clock.
So my kids have just started waking up later. My son still wakes up at 6 in the morning every day, but he'll stay in his room. He'll find a way to kind of like find his stashed computer, and he'll spend some time like sneaking around the house. And me and my wife are completely up hearing it, but we're just like, as long as he stays out, we're good. And my daughter, she likes to sleep in. She's 3 and she likes to sleep in, so it's like, okay, all right, we get some time.
Yeah.
And then I'll fall back asleep at like right before something starts. And then I'm like, oh, I'm up. What's going on? I've been here the whole time.
I've been here the whole
And
time.
I'll pop a rally randomly. And everyone's like, G's awake.
Yeah, because they've been, you're like the key player. So they're checking the alliance board every second to see if you're on. So you can't get away with it.
Classic. Yeah.
Oh, FYI, Killer Nikki said we have trap. Trap.
So yeah, we came so close.
I was on it. I said it was my massive Plasma 1 troops in there.
Bang. That's exactly what it was.
That's what it was. Totally.
I was just like, oh my god. I was like, this is going to be so close.
What were we, like
probably...
80K from it? Like
yeah,
one hit from it. So
it was like 19 minutes left, and I'm like, this is going to be close.
It was sad.
That was the closest I've ever seen
sad.
It. It was awful.
So I want to say a shout out to everybody in chat right now. Killer Nikki, love you. Durgan, hello Durgan. Nice to see you. Sin, haven't seen you in a while, dude. Ronnie Kent, he said, hi, everyone. Ronnie K from State 146. That's awesome, dude. I don't think I've seen your name in here before, so that's cool. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, welcome.
Venom throwing huge damage for real. Yeah. Massive damage. That, like, 89K damage there.
Do it.
Just stay up all night, problem solved, Durgan says. That should be it. Durgan always does that, by the way. He'll say, just stay up. You'll be on VC with him later. You have SVS in like 3 hours. And he's like, just stay up. And then you commit to it. And then Durgan falls asleep. So you have no one to kind of keep you company while you're trying to stay up. So don't listen to him. Don't fall for the trap, people.
Yeah, that's tough.
I've done it before. So it's going to be a fairly short stream. We're going to try to end it early. I'm really hoping, my goal is to end by 10:30, so that way Delete has plenty of shut-eye for SVS. We'll see. We tend to talk a lot and ramble a lot. Depends on who pops in. I think Finn's going to be popping in a bit. We also have a couple other... I think Nikki might even join on VC. Nikki, get in here. It'll be fun. And I think Apex may join in a bit, so... It should be good. We'll just kind of pop in and out, casual stream. So I want to go ahead and throw out the first code, though, while I have you guys here, all you first responders. The first code is the burger. Not the burger, but the burger. Because apparently I've said it like 20 different ways now. I've said the bunker, the burger.
I love that so much.
Yeah, right? Yeah, so So we're going to go over, I think, a little bit about the Lunar event coming up. I know that you guys haven't seen it in game, but they've been putting out some messages about it here and there. Have you seen it in PTR?
No, surprisingly, but I was like, I'm still waiting for him to fix my PTR account, and I'm like going back and forth with my concierge.
Your
Um,
concierge.
and she's just like, yeah, you haven't finished your research. And I'm like, yes, I have. I was like, my PTR account hasn't updated in the last three PTRs. It just hasn't. I was like, I'm not lying, trying to lie to you. I'm not trying to get like this super strong PTR account randomly. And she started laughing. So I was just like, can you just
Do you know
please?
where she's from? Is she?
No, I have
No.
not tried to slide into her DMs that way.
Miss Slide into your
So,
DMs, Miss Concierge
so,
girl.
so, what do you think of my account?
What do you think? Is my
How
plasma
do you like my
impressive?
skins? How do
What
you
do you
like my
think of my
skins?
stats? This was so funny. We in the other game that we used to play, that was used to be all of the guys come like their pickup line. You want to see my hero stats? They're pretty impressive.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Haven't pulled that off.
if you're a gaming girl, if you're a gaming chick, I mean, I like stats. I like big stats.
Chicks dig the big stats.
So, also this brings to a point. We wanted to give a shout out to our sponsor, Zombie Coffee. You guys, you can check them out on Facebook, Zombie Coffee and Donuts. They are actually an official sponsor for RSG, the bunker only, just the bunker. So we want to give them a shout out, support the people who support us. We would appreciate you guys giving them a look. They do delivery for coffee, and it's delicious. So give them a shout out. You also get this cool little tumbler, the zombie tumbler. I've used it every day at work. I love it. Okay. No, Durgan. He said, wow, got to mark this PG-13 because of McLemmon. I haven't said anything PG-13. I'm not even drinking. Wait till I'm drinking and then we'll talk about it.
Give it time.
Yeah, give it time, boys. Give it time. Hold on. Let me give Nikki the link because she's a slacker and she forgot about. I don't know. Actually, you have it. Do you have the Zoom link?
Yeah, I got
Will
it.
you pass it over to old Nikki for me? I mean, young Nikki.
Young Nikki.
Okay, so
Little Nikki.
yeah, the first thing we're going to talk about is the lunar event. I just want to get that out of the way, and then we're going to talk about. I do want to talk about the RR Nations Cup, which I think is pretty interesting, and I feel like there's going to be some big ramifications for it. Like, I don't know yet, but it just seems like this is kind of a big deal and like a big direction change that they're going in with it. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But okay, so the Lunar New Year Zodiac event, that one's kind of like all the other events, except they are doing something a bit different with this one, which is interesting. So you're going to have like remember when we had the lucky things, there were like little packages that you could send out to the alliance or you could send it out to the state. They're doing that where you get like these little gift bags and they come, they give you like little prizes and stuff. So they're doing that again with it. You collect gift bags and then you do it by completing tasks. You can do it by, just like everything else, donating alliance text, timer help, killing infected, of all that stuff. You get it. And then for every task you complete, you can get gift packs that you can share with your state or your alliance. And I thought those were cool. I thought because you could write little messages in them. I think the first couple hours it was cool, and then you're kind of like, you just start sending them out.
We got pretty childish with the messages
We
also.
did. Yeah. I can't
But
remember.
that's just funny.
I think I put one of them to the state that said it's never just the tip. Don't believe them, ladies. Which is true. It's never. But yeah, it was just we got silly
Thank
with
God.
it. But so you get random reward items from the rewards pool, those type of thing. Hey, Nikki. She's probably still trying to figure out how to get the sound going, but she's here. Welcome. So you get random items. You collect lucky packs will also allow you to open more lucky packs and get rewarded depending on the quantity. So in the you get everything from Chief XP, you get a res packs, you get I think you get some. Whoa, is that Nikki?
Oh, reverb,
Oh
reverb from
no.
Nikki.
Can you
Yeah.
hear me?
Yes.
Hello, say hi,
Hi.
Nikki.
Can you see me?
Nope, just see your
No.
beautiful photo.
Checking. You're gonna hear noise in the background because I'm at work.
It's
Sorry.
okay. Just mute when you're not talking, and then whenever you're talking, just unmute. You're fine. Welcome. So in the reward pool, you get all of that stuff. You do get gear materials, so that's cool. I don't think. Did you get gear materials in the other stuff like that? I can't remember.
Yeah, but it wasn't that much.
Yeah, like toolbox. The little toolbox in the. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get all those things. And then they also have the event, which is, how every event we get a little special infected where you get to spawn one and then you kill it. That one is the Pyromaniac, which I think he looks cool. He's one of those big bosses. You know what I'm talking about? The big fatty bosses. And those are always fun because I like to try to figure out which hero is going to get me to that 9K max reward. You got to hit 900K you got to get for maximum rewards. That's the 900K damage mark. I know some people were saying it's 1 million, but it's not. I think it's closer to like 900K. I think I saw.
I thought.
Go ahead.
I don't know. Well, I mean, I'm a bad person to ask because I always do. If I've been like practically soloing, and I'll
Were
leave
you
like.
just about to say
pissed.
I'm a bad person to ask because I always get maximum rewards?
I'm just.
Did you hear that, Nikki?
Me, because I'm just me.
Mr. Wonderful.
Yeah, he's bragging.
Yeah,
What a surprise.
It's his humble brag. I'm a bad person to ask because I always get max rewards.
Yeah, because I've got a maxed account. Did I just say that out loud? Oops.
Oh no, sorry.
Yeah, I'm the guy that goes to the bar and has the ATM slip.
Yeah, I'm just looking. It's now 900K. Somebody else just messaged me. It's 900K. So yeah. So anyway, I like the big ones because the big guys you can use certain. Stop it. Now you're making it PG-13 with your reactions, Mister. But you get to try out the different heroes. Like does Chef work better? Does Nicola? I know that you get to use some of those older, unloved ones on these guys. So I like them.
Yeah.
So
it goes back and forth too, because sometimes it'll be Mike, sometimes it'll be Jeb for me.
Yeah.
So I'll throw Nicola out there, and Nicola, you've got to do a little bit more work. Sometimes it's Maddie, because Nicola, you have to plant the towers out there. Sometimes it's Maddie. So and it's usually always Miho though. For me, it's always Miho in the middle.
Well, she's a beastie. That's why.
Yeah. So it does take a couple to be like, oh, I'm doing more damage here, and it's always different.
Yeah, and I think it's because of the way every infected, these specific infected, the way they work and the way they move and the way they, go forward or what they do is different. So you can kind of change it up a little bit. I like it. It's something to play around with when there's nothing else going in game. Anyway, the rewards for beating those infected, you get the lanterns. And with the lanterns, you get to use those for exchange for, there's the new thing that they're doing, which is the New Year Zodiac. And it's basically like a spinny wheel of zodiacs where you get cards that you can exchange with for skins and other big rewards. But like you can also share them and ask for them from your friends in your alliance, which is completely new. I don't see that they've ever done that. Have they done that any other time in the game?
No, not that I can recall.
So like if somebody, I'm wondering, and I don't know specifically like if there's a max of how many you can exchange, but it'd be good if you have a really high spender that gets all these cards and then exchanges them with you. I mean, I don't know how that's going to work. We'll see. But you get hero skins, you get settlement skins, all that stuff. You're going to be able to get that from. So like it looks like you can request postcards from your alliance mates and vice versa. You have 5 chances to do this. I have no idea if this chance is renewable every day or this is for the entire event duration. Teddy has a really good guide for it. I don't know if you guys go through Savagery Gaming. She's excellent. She's got really good guides for any events that are coming up because she always does the PTR. So I like to watch Teddy a lot. She if I don't know what's going on, I usually just pop into Teddy's guides or watch one of her vids, and honestly, she just lays it all out. She's really fantastic. So definitely go give her a like and a subscribe if you don't know. She's by far my most informative YouTuber that I watch as far as game news. So
Sweet.
yeah,
I'll check it out.
yeah, she's great. But she went over the Lunar event, and it looks interesting. I like that they're doing something a little bit different than what they have. Like, I feel like a lot of these events have just been regurgitated with different aesthetics.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they haven't really had to try too hard. Yeah, they're all pretty much exactly the same.
Nikki,
they're just different graphics.
Up just a bit, Nikki. I couldn't hear you. What did you say?
I said they're literally all exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's always the same tasks, the same setup for each day of, you know, what you have to do to get points and whatever you collect from it, like for the Tree of Life, the watering cans or whatever it was, it's always the same, and the rewards in that are always the same, and it always takes the same amount of whatever to get the next tier of rewards, and the packs are always the same, just with a different item. It gets extremely boring.
Yeah. Well, this one, I do honestly think they tried to add something different to it. Most of the other stuff is the same, but the what is it? The lunar cards, or what? I don't know what they call it again. Yeah, postcards. The New Year postcards. That whole thing is a bit different. I haven't seen that before in game, so we'll see if we like it or not. Looks pretty cool. So I don't know. So there's that. I don't think there's anything else with the lunar stuff going on, but I was going to read a couple of the notes. They had a patch note. They got an update coming up, so I'm just going to read those really quickly if I can find them again. So it says 1.9.120 is a version update, main content, optimize the craze activities of infected persons. So before the activity starts, players can click the go button to enter the open page and select the open mode, manually open, automatically open for reservation. Only R4s and R5s can be opened, and other members can reach the open page but cannot be enabled. The opening time of the reservation can be modified at any time. If R4 above officials modify the opening method, including the opening time, Alliance members will receive an email notification. I'm assuming when they say email notification, they're talking about an in-game mail. Is that what they're talking about?
Yeah, because I don't have my personal email hooked up to my SOS.
I was like, that would be cool. Email me. Why don't you just text me when you open it up? Adjustment of... The activity in progress page displays the number of waves, the current status of infected persons, enemy detail names, attack targets, defense failures, and the event countdown on other information. So, I don't know this. How does that change anything, though? Didn't it already do that for Horde? It already gave all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm
No, but I don't think you could reserve a time for it to open. It's like what you can do with Trap now, to set it to open on its own.
Gotcha.
That's what it sounds like anyway.
Gotcha. Okay. It says shorten the interval of zombie invasion. So that means we can shorten the interval between?
I'm so excited for that.
I know.
So excited.
Yeah.
They're saying that the whole event now is going to take 30 minutes as opposed to 2 hours.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's going to make it a mad scramble for the random waves or whatever, but
It'll
it's
be
probably
fun,
even more
though.
fun.
It'll keep it
That
exciting.
and the points thing. I'm sorry, I don't know if you read it already, but they're saying now that if you... So it used to be if you reinforce somebody, you would steal their points, right? So we've made sure that everybody was reinforcing, so we were all stealing from each other, and it kind of evened out. Well, now they're saying if you reinforce someone, you will both get the points. You won't be stealing from the person whose base you're reinforcing. So they'll get the amount of points that they would already normally get, and then you would get the additional points, but it doesn't take out of theirs.
That is so good.
Yeah.
I mean,
really
there's
good.
some alliances that won't like it because they don't play the win game. They play the who can steal the most points from other people game. But I think in the whole, I think more people would like to just play it this way. So that's a good change. Let's see if it puts anything. Yeah.
I did notice the last time I paid attention to Horde, not like Not like I never do, but
So a year ago?
I felt like,
Okay.
yeah, seriously. Wow. So just go ahead and put me on blast.
Wow. There we
Go
go.
ahead and start telling
Welcome,
everybody the truth.
Nikki.
Hey, so,
I mean,
hey,
just saying.
big thing with me is real life first. Always.
As it should be.
And I've just been hella busy. Like, busy as hell.
Yeah.
Just nonstop crap. And I wish I could just be like,
what were you going to say about last time you played Horde? What were you going to say?
Last time I played Horde, as I was saying before I was spoken the truth on, I wasn't stealing as many points. Like it used to be, I would come into your base and I would be like, oh, I got 30,000, you got 10. You know, instead, now it's like, you got 30,000 and I got 10. You know?
Yeah.
But
they adjusted
it was already
something. Yeah.
It was already tweaked a little bit, you know, so it wasn't really that bad. Where it was just like, wow, I'm just literally taking every one of your points. But at the, you know, so it was already better, but that is much better because now I could just go ahead and send all 6 of my marches out and still, you know, survive Horde and help out everybody else, you know, and try and get our overall alliance rank up, you know, because now you can just have more people complete, you know, the last wave.
Absolutely.
Which is huge.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good idea. It's a good idea. It said the new activity rule also, the description page contains the following content. Every Tuesday and Thursday, the Alliance can start zombie invasion activities. Officials above R4s have the permission to start activities or set the opening time. After the appointment time is set, the appointment time cannot be modified within the set appointment time. Zombies who resist invasion can get points. When reinforcement allies can get extra points. It will not affect the points acquisition of allies. That's worded so weirdly, I don't know what they're trying to say. Nikki, translate for me.
Send it to me.
Are you talking to me?
I gotta read it.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you send it to me so I can read it?
Yes, I will send it. I absolutely have no idea what they're trying to say here. I've read it 3 times, and it doesn't make any sense to me. Nikki's
wow,
pretty
it's
good.
really hard to do trap and this at the same time, let me tell you.
Is it?
I saw that we weren't going to be trap, and I was just like, all right, guys, I got to go.
You're such a good multitasker, though.
Seriously.
Hey, Fireball and Apex. Apex says he dropped his phone down a vent, but he got it back.
I was literally just writing in chat, but being that you just referenced it, I don't have to write it anymore. That is my biggest fear. Because I that is like, whoa, wow.
Okay.
My life is just down there.
You want to know what my biggest fear is when it comes to my phone? And it sounds really, really gross, but I've done it one time. Is at work, I keep the phone on the outside, like, of my scrub pocket. And it's like, it hangs like my little pop, this little pop thing. It'll get caught on the edge. And so when I go in to use the restroom, you know, ladies, we have to squat and you have to hover. I hover. I'm a hoverer. And one time I stood up and my phone fell out right into the toilet before the flush.
No.
I am terrified of that now. Like, it ruined my phone. I had to get a whole new phone. And so now it's like I'm securing everything before I go into the bathroom. That's my biggest fear. A little too much information for you guys, but there you go. Okay, Nikki, go on with your translation.
Okay, so the first part is, I don't know what that means, zombies who resist invasion. Whoever wrote this does not speak English. I mean, as their first language. But it's basically saying what I just explained to you about how you're not going to steal points from people. That's the first part of it. Like, you can, it says reinforcements can get extra points. It won't affect the points of the person you're reinforcing. That's basically what that's saying.
Okay, so the whole zombies resist invasion doesn't really mean anything then.
I think, I don't know why they said zombies. I think what that's trying to say, yeah, I think they're trying to say if you pass the wave, if you beat the wave.
Gotcha.
Like, if you don't burn, you get points.
Got it. Okay. Apex said, gross, I'm not eating this chocolate ice cream anymore. It was number 1. Thank you very much. And then the final
Uh,
point to that is reward will be given within 24 hours. If you quit the alliance, will not be rewarded. I think that was standard already anyway. So
yeah.
that's a good update. I think that's a very good update. I really wish we would get an update on the SVS for we were just talking about this, Apex and Irish. By the way, I'm giving a quick shout out to Irish in our state because I told him I would in our chat that he's like one of our favorite guys in the state. He's hilarious. He's batshit crazy, but he's a fun guy, and we enjoy playing with him a lot. So he's one of our favorites in RSG. So there you go, Irish. I gave you a shout out. But we were talking about SVS and the whole alt game, the alt surrounding everything. If they would just put up a fog over the Capitol.
That's what I've been saying since
it's
day
the simplest
one.
Solution to fix this problem. And
the way it was before Capitol ever opened.
Yes, when the new states open. Yes.
Yep.
I don't understand. I've been trying to figure out, like, there's always a reason why they don't do something. I really don't believe that it's like laziness or just that they can't figure something out, because I know they're smart guys. I really think there's a motivation here to either keep people using alts, like opening new accounts. Could that be it?
Sorry. So the thing that I don't know, when I think about it, there are advantages and disadvantages to both winning and losing the prep stage, right?
Yeah.
So the advantage of winning the prep stage is that you keep your governor. A lot of people forget about that, but you keep your governor even if you lose in the other states, which is kind of a big deal, because that means you now have buffs for the next 2 weeks, even though you lost state for state.
Yeah.
Obviously, the disadvantage is being pushed so far back from the Capitol. So then the flip side is, if you lose prep stage, your advantage is, you have the home game, and you can set up and protect your Capitol.
Yeah.
The disadvantage of losing is that if you do lose once the other state comes in, you don't have a governor for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I think that the reason, in my opinion, they haven't changed things is because people are constantly trying to figure out if it's better to win or lose.
But I mean, why would that prevent them from changing that?
Because they like to frustrate
because they
us?
want people to spend money to see if it's better to. I mean, I would think that they would automatically make more money, because then more people are going to purposely try to win.
Well, yeah, if they changed it so that the Capitol in the other state was blocked off until the hour before, whenever you could jump over, so that everybody had to move at once, then everybody would be trying to win prep stage, every SVS, and they would make a ton more money. Yeah. But they don't think like that.
But they should. I mean, they should. They think about making money for everything else, which is obviously they're a company, they're a business. They should. So I really don't see the disadvantage to this, other than the alt game thing. It doesn't make sense. Like, I'm really
maybe
upset about this.
They think if people have more than one account, then they're going to be spending on more than one account.
Yeah,
but
that's what I think.
My alt has been free to play since day one.
Yeah, and I think most people do that, but maybe they think people will. I don't know. I don't know, because most people don't spend on their alts. I don't know anybody that spends massively on their alt accounts. So I just can't get it. Finn is here. Hi, Finn.
Hi.
Hi, Finn.
Finn, why do you think they will not put a fog over the Capitol during SVS? There's got to be some motivation and reason, right? Okay.
It still says beta. That's pretty much all I can say. It still says beta when you look at SVS, right? Doesn't it say beta somewhere in the description in the events thing?
Yes.
Oh, I haven't checked. Oh, yeah. I
You
guess
think they're still testing it?
Yeah, I think they're live testing it, just like they are Reservoir Raid and all the other stuff. Like,
But
they're
we've
basically
done it. We've had how many SVSs, though, at this point? Come on.
A lot.
8.
We have, but it doesn't mean that they're not slow to make the changes.
So,
yeah.
Apex brought up something. It's marketing mechanics and frustration systems force people invading to expend more to try and gain favorable position. I mean, that makes sense too, because if they have to, they spend more speed ups. But I mean, really, honestly,
the problem is we talked about the fog and everything, right? But the main thing about the fog is that they need to change who wins prep. You guys might have already discussed that. But if you win prep, you're at a disadvantage. Versus
Right.
if you lose prep, it's in your state. That's where they need to change it ultimately. Otherwise, the fog by itself really doesn't make much of a difference, right? It really is that whoever is winning the prep stage, which would then be more incentive for you to spend because people would be competing in order to actually win prep. Then you get the fog in whichever state. Most likely you'll want it in your own state to control it, but then you can decide exactly what's going to happen. And then the other state gets kind of screwed out of it. But that's the way it should work. Everything is kind of backwards because winning prep stage is almost like a disadvantage in most scenarios. So the fog is only part of it. The prep stage, I think, is a bigger issue.
I'm still bothered by it. I feel like it's really, the SVS could be, because so many people love SVS. I think the timing needs to change a little bit as far as what times they do it. They need to rotate the times more. But other than that, it's that, and then it's the, like you said, the winning versus losing and the alt game around the capital. I think those are the three biggest issues to me.
Yeah, I think the states involved should vote for like you do for a fortress or a bunker, for a facility. Basically, I think the two states should vote for like 3 times, and the two, the ones that kind of coincide should be the ones that they pick, as opposed to just kind of being, okay, so this time worked for no one. Enjoy. Because it's just like, that's just aggressive.
Yeah.
It's just unnecessarily aggressive. Especially since they made it shorter. They made it shorter and they didn't change the start time. So now you definitely have to be up at some ungodly hour unless you're in the UK where it's like, oh, this is awesome. But I mean, it's, I love the UK, but I don't think it's the mass of people that it's perfect for outweighs the people that it's unfortunate for.
Apex said, why don't they just make a separate event that is just a pure KE cross-state event that is way more fun for murdering people?
Such a psychopath.
He is a psychopath. He really is.
I can't.
I'm serious.
Oh.
Welcome to the stream, Burgett Black and Fireball. Nice to see you guys. We appreciate you joining. Yeah, Apex, that would be a lot of fun. So, yeah, I don't know. That's the big thing, the things that I wish that they would change. I don't know, but I do. Finn, you missed the whole Lunar event. I think you'll like this one because it's got a little bit different. You know how we were talking about all the events? They just feel like reskinned events.
Mm-hmm.
They're all the same. The Lunar event is a bit different. I mean, just one factor of it's a bit different, but it's something that I haven't seen in the game yet. So I think it might be interesting to see. I don't know. We'll see. Hey, Eric B. Nice to see you. We appreciate it. With that, now I'm going to...
just to say something really quick. I know you're calling him a psychopath, but I actually think Apex Predator is right.
Go ahead. Tell us.
Just a pure cross-state KE. I think that's what they need. We've already talked about how there's a disconnect between the clash, the capital clash points, right? And the warfare in state for state. There's a complete disconnect between that. They run it at the same time, and it makes absolutely no sense. It gets people not participating in SVS the way they should, right? Instead, they're just attacking towers, they're just attacking capitals, when really they'd be more effective hitting bases and really trying to coordinate and do stuff. But most people are not willing to take losses by hitting higher level bases for no other reason. So Apex, I think, is actually correct in that they have to separate effectively KE, which is the state warfare, away from capital clash, or make it so that capital clash during state for state has those KE allowing for points, because that's where the biggest problems come in. You're not getting full state involvement. You're getting involvement from the highest alliances in like actual state versus state. Everybody else is just going for capital points. And we've had this discussion before. There's like no focus on the actual state warfare strategy outside of usually the top, like maybe 5 or 6 alliances, because they have the people that are allowing them to be able to compete. So there's a lot of things. I think conceptually state for state is really good. Don't get me wrong. I like the concept of it. I like the fact that 2 states are going against each other. They're competing in these different things, and then they'll ultimately kind of like fight over a capital. That makes it, the concept is good. But there's a lot of things that need to change to make this functionally work. And so and that's why I mentioned that it was put in as beta, because I noticed that from the beginning. There's a lot of events that we currently have that are still listed as beta. I think State Warfare is one. The Reservoir Raid, I believe, is listed as a beta. Alliance Throwdown, I believe, is listed as beta. Showdown maybe as well. Like, there is a lot that is listed as beta. The question becomes, when are they going to make the changes? Because I think we're all in agreement. State for State needs some updates. We have some ideas that are being put on the table. It's not like we're just saying something is wrong. So we need those changes actually implemented, hopefully sooner rather than later, so that people don't get sick of this game mode and having to wake up at like 2 a.m. Pacific time.
Yeah. Is that what time it is? 2 a.m. Pacific?
Yeah, it's 5 a.m. Eastern we have to get up. So it's 2 a.m. Pacific time. Every single time. Like, there's no rotation, nothing. You just kind of get screwed.
Wow.
Yeah, and now that it's shorter, if you're not on close to the beginning, you're missing out on a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said I was setting an alarm for this SVS, and Nikki, me. She...
Yeah,
very upset about
see.
that.
We'll see how long you play Among Us after the stream.
I'm not. I'm ending the stream early, Nikki, so I can get to bed early.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
Scouts
See?
Honor.
See?
Is that how you do Scouts Honor? How do you do Scouts Honor?
That's just crossing your fingers. That has nothing to do with the
It's a
Scouts
T. McVenom
whatsoever.
Scout Honor
Scouts.
there.
Scouts Honor.
Throwing
Scouts Honor. Got my
side
fingers crossed.
over here.
You were landing a plane at a different airport with those signals. Just mixed signals.
Scouts Honor. So, Finn, please say hi to Irish. We gave you a shout out earlier, Irish. We were talking about how you're batshit crazy, but we love you, and you're like one of our favorite people in 359. But Finn, you need to say hi to Irish.
Hello, Irish. I will see you later. Make sure you bring the fuzzy handcuffs.
Fuzzy handcuffs. Are you gonna slide into those DMs?
I still love.
That's a common thing. He's aware of it. Finn and Detective Irish have a long history, and there's only so certain things can't be said for legal purposes. However, all I can say is Detective Irish and Finn have a special bond, and
they have a bromance going on.
Fuzzy handcuffs may or may not be involved. In fact, they are.
I feel that's another code coming on, fuzzy handcuffs.
I mean,
be careful. Durgan's gonna get jealous.
Durgan is watching from the
never get
bushes.
jealous.
It's fine.
Durgan likes to be a watcher. Oh,
Just handling his wood.
I need to say
Just
hello,
always handling
Letty.
his wood.
You little sus thing. Hello, Letty.
Oh.
All right.
I think our best
Okay.
idea for SBS was opening up the entire map, not for nothing. And like having all the bunkers and facilities in play and stretching out.
I think so too. I honestly.
Wait, what do you mean?
Okay.
Finn's
Nikki,
ideas.
was Finn's idea to have, and this is so good on so many levels. You take all of the bunkers, the facilities, even the centers, especially in the new state, the centers, and you make those points for SVS where you're fighting for them. But go ahead, Finn. Tell them about the breakdown of how you could keep everybody involved in the state. Everybody.
So the general idea is that we have 3 different areas in the map, right? You have the oasis, you have the plains, you have the wasteland. The idea would be that each alliance registers for a particular location, and then they can only control one building at a time. The entire alliance can. So if you go into, let's say, the plains, you go into the plains area and you try to control one of the center's facilities or bunkers, and that would give your state a bonus during that SVS. So basically, it's now every alliance is registering for a different area. You coordinate with it. You're not having alliance number 25 having to compete with alliance number 1. It's alliance 25 maybe is in the wastelands trying to control one building. But if there is, let's say, a top 5 alliance that goes into the wastelands and decides that they want to try and control one building, well, you just go to a different one in the wastelands because they can only control one. And the fights happen in like the gray areas, right? Because everything is in those gray areas. So we keep all the battles in the gray areas. Everything else is just like a kill event. But that's how you kind of get more alliances involved, is to open it up outside of just capital and give the other buildings that are just kind of sitting idly there more value during state for state.
I love that idea. Whether it's like one building's like extra healing or another building's like attack, you can even split up like a top alliance and be like, okay, we've got this tower held. We need to heal. Let's go ahead and like, grab this facility really quick, and get that extra buff or so on and so forth. It just expands the dynamic.
I love the idea that like you're not, because right now SVS is the top alliances really only get to really do a lot. I mean, you can do it, but you've got to be a really organized and strong alliance, even in lower ranks, to be able to do anything in SVS. So that would open it up to where there's more activity, because we see it in every state where it's like the lower ranks are just like, what can I do? I want to play. I want to get points. I want to do this, but we can't really do that. So this would be a very good way to incorporate all the players in. I think it was Finn, I need you to write up that suggestion for me really nice so that I can submit it to the devs.
Okay.
Please.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it would be funny.
Sweet
tits.
That's a lot of work, McVenom.
I know.
So I may have to stay up and do this. And what would help me better to stay up in order to write this than Zombie Coffee? That's right. So Zombie Coffee will help me to stay up.
My eye roll.
Yes. Zombie Coffee helps you stay up in order to write the SOS suggestions that you want to promote to help improve the game. Zombie Coffee. They're here for you. They're here for RSG.
Are we done now?
Sure.
Finn should be a radio spokesman, to be honest. He's really good with it.
By the way, that coffee, iced and hot.
I know.
Oh my.
I tried to ice the other day, and it was so good. And I'm not really a huge iced coffee fan. And I really liked it. I hit it with a shot of caramel. But anyway. Okay, so now what I wanted to talk about especially with Nikki and Finn and Delete all on the same time. I really wanted Daedric on too, but I think he was busy tonight. But because I want to hear his idea about like what his views on this being an older state player. But Fury's in chat. She might give us a couple of little ideas about it. So RR Nations Cup. Do you guys know anything about this? Nikki, have you heard anything about Nations Cup?
No.
So basically the RR Nations Cup, and I even actually wrote notes on this. How prepared am I? Are you guys proud of me?
You get that out of your Trapper Keeper? Is that your 5-star notebook?
Maybe. I have a Lisa Frank Trapper Keeper.
Oh my god.
Bob the Builder is so much better.
Shut up. If you don't know who Lisa Frank is, then I feel sorry for you. Because
if you don't know who Bob the Builder is, I feel sad for you too.
I know Bob the Builder.
There you go. Then we're fine.
Of course. Yeah. Okay, so
Bob the Builder is the man.
Thomas the Train is.
No, Thomas had his run for a while, but Bob the Builder, I mean, come on. Bob can engineer a train. He can engineer himself Atomic the Tank Engine. Thomas is stuck on those tracks. He is limited in how much he can explore. Bob the Builder, though, he makes himself a bulldozer that talks to you, and then... Sorry.
Okay, so... This is my... I got taught that the other day. When you need somebody to hush, you just go, shh. Shh. Yeah, I was shushed the other day like that, and I was like, what the hell? Okay, so...
Someone shushed you like that? Ouch. That would not work for me.
They were good friends, so they're allowed to do it. You can't do it. You can't do it. I would let Nikki do it, but nobody else. Okay, so somebody said something about Yeah, Fury, they are too young. They don't know Lisa Frank, so yeah. I'm I'm checking all this. Nope, everything's good. Okay, so, Ronnie Kent said, I wish they would mail deliver the zombie coffee. They do. That's how we got it. We got it mail ordered. So go to Zombie Coffee and Donuts.
Exclamation sponsor in chat. We'll give you a link to their locations on Facebook, both in Athens, Georgia and Columbus, South Carolina.
Yeah, I know that's me, Ronnie. Finn, they're talking about my chair.
You know what the funny part is? That it sounds exactly like when McVenom sneezes. It's a very cute little squeaky noise. She makes a cute little squeaky noise. Delise heard it before. She makes like that sound every time she sneezes. It's like the cutest little thing. It's like that panda video. It's like that little panda video.
Okay, we're moving on.
No, exactly. I just scanned my entire memory bank, and I do not remember a Venom sneeze. I feel like I would have remembered that.
No, we've had a Venom
sneeze. I have a really
sneeze.
tiny little nose, so when it's hard to get a sneeze out, and so
it
it's
sounds
like a little,
just like the squeak.
It's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. Doesn't fit at all.
It's adorable.
Okay, so RR Nations Cup. Hey, Bully Irish with the donation.
Have you guys looked at their donuts? Because oh my god.
I know.
Yeah. No.
They have a donut kit that are donut, like you make it yourself. Finn and I want to do like a whole gamer fuel session where we build the donuts. We might actually, on the way to Disney, we might pick up a box and then we'll build them all together.
Yeah. That would be
fun.
Unboxing. That would just top.
Building donuts. How cool.
Yeah. Wait, are we going to stream down there, by the way?
Yes, totally.
Oh my god, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Okay.
Finn and I, the last time we were in there, we
can
Facebook
all
Lived and streamed the whole
same
time.
Camera. Oh my god.
That would be fun. Okay. So,
It is, Jurgen. There is a location in Athens, Georgia, as well as Columbia, South Carolina. So exclamation sponsor in chat. We'll give you a link to their Facebook page where you can order not only the coffee, but the donuts that Nikki was talking about.
I think we're sending Jurgen there.
On the radio.
What?
Finn needs to be like a radio talk show.
I told
host.
you, he's
we
really
told
good.
him that.
Finn, can you put the chat up on the stream too, by the way? Also, okay. So, thank you, Bully Irish. Thank you so much for the donation. We so much appreciate it, dude. Again, you're our favorite. Okay, so RR Nations...
No, we don't have any favorites. Don't say that.
Nikki, you tell everyone.
McVenom definitely has favorites. They just happen to change every few minutes. So take it while you have it.
Scout's Honor, you're my favorite.
Oh god.
So,
I love it.
The RR Nations Cup. I want to go into this now. So, this is for 607 onward. I think it's 607. I know it's states open between 125 and 131 only. January 25th to January 31st. For those states, that's the beta testing. That's like the live beta testing. So that what they do is they take matchups. There's 4 regions. There's North America, Europe, East Asia, and Southeast Asia, and Middle East is considered one. So they take the 4 top-ranked alliances in each region and take them on. That's the points. You have to register, and then when you get the points rounds, the 4 top ones from each points round goes into the semifinals. So the registration, I think, was like January 25th to February 7th for all of those states. And then it kind of goes into like the points race breakdown. And they kind of gave us a breakdown of all the dates, but we're not in any of those states. And I don't know that anybody else is in these states, but Zoltan is still my favorite. Shh, Durgan, stop it.
Let's just get this all out in the open. If you were ever claimed to be a favorite by McVenom, just put it in the chat right now. Let's just see how many people we have that were claiming that at one point they were in fact a favorite.
You're all my favorites. I'm talking
God,
to
now
you
everyone
right
in
now.
chat
You're
is
my
going to be
favorite. So the semifinals are like I think in March, and it ends in I think March 27th. But anyway, the requirements are top 20. It's kind of like Reservoir Raid, top 20 in the state, and you need like 30 members to join. But this is the crazy thing: the winners for a points race in each stage. This is just because there's 4 stages. The points race stage, you get like $300 in game rewards, $200 in game rewards, and $50 in third place game rewards. And that goes to every single player in the alliance. That's just for the points race. So even for registering, even if you don't make the top 4 rank, you still get massive amounts of rewards just for registering and playing and getting points. Even if you're like not in the top 5 or in the top points of the race, you still get rewards every day, just similar to Reservoir League, I guess. But it's for all the players in the alliance. But then when we get to the finals, the top players, so the first placed winners for the finals get 10,000 cash. They get a trophy, and then they get 20,000 in-game rewards.
Wait, cash like real cash?
Like cash, real cash.
Like money?
Money, yes.
Oh, wow.
The second place gets 5K cash and 10K in-game rewards. Third gets 3K and 6K in-game, and then fourth place gets 2K cash and 3K in-game rewards. Now, the cash prizes are set by the distribution is set by the alliance leaders, and they have it set up to where max amount that can go to the leader is 30% of the cash rewards, and then 25% is the max amount that can go to the R4s, and then the rest of the money has to be divided up evenly amongst the rest of the alliance. But like, this is kind of a crazy thing to say that it's Fury just said, say all that again. I haven't been paying attention. Those are all top overall players in RR or top alliances. So Fury, what it is you register. When you register for the 4 regions. Depending on your alliance, you have to register for the 4 regions. And then you have a points round, similar to Reservoir League, I think it is. Is Reservoir League does the points round?
Yeah.
So it's just like that, where you get rewards through the points round, and then the top 4 from each region go on to the semifinals. And then during the semifinals, those 4 from each region battle it out, and then it's the top final winners, which would be the top 4 final winners, get the rewards. So it's first place is 10K cash and down through to 4th place. So
okay,
go ahead.
I have a couple of questions. I'm not sure if you know the answer. First
I
question is, would this be broken? Obviously, this is just like a beta thing, if they are even testing it. So, of course, it'll be in super early states to begin with. But would this be broken up and separated by states at all? Because for Res League, I mean, it was everybody registering. No. And then the top 256 out of 500 states and God knows how many alliances in each state that were registering. And so obviously, if it were between us in 125 versus Fury's alliance in 42, we would never get in.
Yeah, no. So they said that in this, when they were talking about it, they said that that's why they opened it up in such a short state amount. So it was like the dates of the state opening from January 25th to January 31st. That was the range of states playing. They're doing the beta that way, and I think they're going to try to figure out the matchups for it. And then if they release it, they still don't even know if they're going to fully release it all the way. But they said they're going to try to bring in other states, but keep the range similar. So that way you don't have like an old state playing a newer state, or, one with new heroes or new gear versus somebody that doesn't have this pack or that pack. So they're going to try to keep the range of when the states opened similar times to play. I don't know what they're going to do as far as opening it in the future, if they're going to open it out to a big gap and then do separate things. I'm not sure. They haven't really specified that. But they said that this is the beta and this is what's going on. So it's kind of a big deal, and it's exciting, but somebody said something about it, people are probably jumping to that state and dumping tons of cash in it just to get a chance for a trophy. And that's probably true. I haven't really read up on other discords about who's doing it yet. I know some people that are, but I mean, my gosh, to get real cash rewards for some people, that would be a lot. But to get to that point, you'd have to spend that double what they're giving in, right?
Yeah, they're just paying you back money you've already put into the game.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. It depends on how old the state was. I mean, 600 is probably at Plasma by now, right? I'm thinking that 600's at plasma. So if they're at plasma, then the biggest thing comes down to skins, because then everyone can like get
Mm-hmm.
up there, but the only ones that can really benefit from maxing out is the person that was there from the beginning that was getting all the overall attack skins and the
Yeah.
defense skins. So if you did it right now, you might be able to be a rally lead, but you wouldn't be the strongest person in in basically in the tournament, you know.
Yeah. I agree. I mean,
So
yeah.
if you jumped in there now and just got the latest heroes, just hero gear and medals, uh, it'd be close. It'd be close. Some people would do it just for the fun of it. If you could get 30% of that back just by winning.
Well, yeah, but it's not even just the cash. It's like, okay, so if you are committing to this is going to be like, okay, this is my new like game career thing that I'm doing. If you get the 20 cash, your alliance wins. That's still, you get, what is it, 20K in-game rewards. So you're getting the cash plus they get the 20K in-game rewards that they can keep using that to keep winning the next ones if they continue to release them. So
Yeah, but if you're in a max account, what's 20K? What are you
you
going to do
really
with
honestly
20K
don't
in
think they're
game?
going to be continually releasing new stuff to raise that level and move the goalpost out?
Uh,
You know they will.
yeah, I mean,
Eventually.
yeah. Talk about being, continually into the game. 20K would go a long way. From a max account stance, if you gave me 20K right now to spend in the game, what am I going to just build like 6 billion troops?
Yeah. Well, Apex
Or
said,
hold on to it
Venom, what are
forever.
the in-game rewards? So it doesn't really, they didn't specify what the in-game rewards are, but I'm assuming it's going to be things like plasma, gear tools, biocaps, all the stuff that we, look for, tactical maps, all of that stuff. But I'm not sure. They really haven't gone into details about that.
Wait, but I'm sorry, one more time. Who's the person? I muted myself. Who's the person in the alliance that gets that?
Everybody in the alliance gets that. So it's an alliance that is given, it's given out bulk, and the leaders get to choose how it's distributed. But the leaders can't give themselves more than 30% or 25% total to the R4s. It has to be evenly distributed out to the rest of the group. And you have to have a minimum of 30 members. So that prevents, and I was like trying to figure out, why do they have a minimum? That prevents like 10 big like maxed out accounts going in, they're pulling their resources and maxing it out to go in and just dominate and get all the rewards and split it between themselves. So that makes sense. But it says the leaders, and it said specifically, I can even read it. It said rest is the 30% to leader is the max amount you can do. 25% to R4s is max, and then the rest is evenly distributed, determined by leaders. So does that mean evenly distributed because the leaders chose to do it, or they can just pick people to evenly distribute it out? Like I'm still, the wording is a little bit off, but you know how it is. The wording is always off in some of these things, so I'm not sure. I'm sure we'll know by March when it comes around. So they said the end of March is when this will wrap up the finals. But my question...
sounds like it would be...
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
It sounds like it would be similar to the way that you distribute bunker rewards, probably, except with, because, well,
you
not,
can only
not
give
even
a certain
except,
amount.
like,
Yeah.
Right, there are limits. So it says, 1 out of 10, let's say, if I gave somebody a crate. So I think it would be similar. There would be, if it's 30%, I'm sure the game would know what the amount was of whatever it was that you were distributing, and so you wouldn't be allowed to give D more than that. And then the R4s, I don't know, that's tricky though, to say 25% for all the R4s.
Yeah,
or like
that's
one
a lot.
R4 can't get more than 25%.
No, it said
I think
25% max
total
for
group.
all total R4s.
Yeah, but there's some alliances that have like 30 R4s.
You'd probably be smart to like manage
To
that
stack
before you
that.
get in. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So
Seriously.
I want to give a quick shout out. We had some new people join into the chat. Escalace there. Eric B. I already shouted him out, I think. It's up, Eric. Bridget Black. And then Leo. I love Leo. He's always got the best comments. And I've tried to get him on the show a couple times. I'm going to get him on eventually. Leo's great. He said, players invest more than they get back. It isn't worth it, to be honest, but it's newer states, so many will spend. Oh, I know people are going to spend for it because we even seen one in 125, to be honest. Money doesn't matter to some people because they have enough. So it's not a big deal. It's more about the glory, and it's about putting your name out there and saying that we are the best. That trophy and being able to say we are the Nations Cup winning alliance. I think there's people that'll put 100K into it easily. Honestly, I really do. I know that there's people that will.
Stop.
They will. So is it worth it? It depends on your perspective. If you're going for glory, then yeah, I'm sure it is worth it for you. But if you're not, if you're going to get your money back, this is probably not the way to do it. You're not going to get your money back out of this.
That better be a permanent skin. Like it's supposed to like in
It's 3 days.
state versus state. That's a 7-day. Hey, that's 7 days for you with no benefit. Yeah.
Hey, Steffi.
Come on, that's
Yeah,
gotta
no
sharpen up.
benefits. The March skin has no benefits. Like even what was it that we did for Showdown that we
The
got
Showdown.
those rewards?
But
And
it
we got
is
this
pretty.
Cute skin,
It's
and we got
so
this
pretty,
cute March
though.
skin,
I
but
love
they don't
it.
do
So
anything.
pretty.
So you're in a car, but you're not moving any faster. Like, why?
Delete. Can you just do the so pretty eye roll again, please?
So pretty.
Okay, I got to give the second bunker. Second bunker.
Second bunker.
Second reward out. The second code. McLemon. Delete.
Fury, if you want to fight me, we can so fight.
Fury definitely
Telling
wants
you
to
right
fight
now.
you. She wants to get
I
you
know,
on
she
Res
does.
or SVS so bad. I'm ready to see
I'll
that.
see
I
you
would
in-
show up with some popcorn.
I'll see you in Throwdown.
Me and Nikki be placing bets on the sideline.
Hell yeah.
She's got like 1 billion troops. I've got my troops, but man,
So,
They're there.
guys, the first code was what was the first code? Oh my gosh.
Burger.
I can't
Burger.
remember.
Burger.
I had it up forever.
The
The
burger.
Get it
burger.
together, lady.
The second code is McLemon. That's a name brought to you by Delete. Jerky Delete there. Calling me McLemon.
So that happened because Durgan called you sour, and
Yeah.
I said, "Think lemon."
He said I was sour. He was mad because I kicked him, and so he called me sour. And
Yeah.
then Delete here joins the
Don't
Durgan bandwagon.
no. I'm gonna defend Durgan. He
McLemon.
wasn't sour because you kicked him. He was sour because you kicked him after weeks of saying, "Well, you should really play this game and come to
Let's
125.
not
We
play
can bring you into the
semantics
alliance,
here.
and you should be able to."
Semantics. Let's not do that. You're muddying the facts with like emotion. It's the
Poor
facts.
Durgan. Durgan came. He was like, "I'm gonna play with my friend McVenom," and came into 125, and then was thoroughly kicked out of the alliance for not being strong enough. That is exactly what happened. Poor Durgan.
Wait, when was this?
Oh, Durgan. So you may have missed him.
You weren't
Nikki,
there.
because-
You weren't. I think we hadn't
because
merged yet.
at the same time, Finn was a level 30 base, and Durgan was at 16.
No,
Mhm.
we're talking about This is when we were in law when I kicked Durgan, right?
Yeah, and we kicked him because he was at level 16.
He was. He wasn't doing
settlement.
anything. He wasn't
And
joining
at the same
anything.
time, the same time frame of time,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Finn
Yeah.
was a settlement 30. So it was just like, ugh. And then we had somebody that was in our alliance that we had to boot out also because they were a 14, and it ended up being like the husband of someone that was playing, and she got really angry at me and never really let me.
Durgan is McVenom's camp husband, and she wasn't upset by it at all. So I'm just throwing that out there.
Again,
Hey,
I don't
by
muddy the waters
way-
with emotion when it comes to games. Let's just keep it
Yeah.
business.
All's fair in war and zombies. That's pretty much what it
Oh my
is.
god.
Yeah. You've only got to be faster than the slowest guy. It's basically the way it works out.
Um,
So McVenom kicked Durgan, so he was slower.
Yeah. Yeah. You know?
Hey, Tix, whatever
Just,
happened to your alt?
King still has it. I messaged him like 5 times to try to get it.
Okay.
Wow.
I mean, what state does he play in? Maybe we can tell somebody else to yell at him.
He was in Silverwolf's old state. So if anybody was in state 20, hit up King and tell him I need my alt back. So,
What
okay.
a waste. Where even is it?
I don't even know. Honestly, I don't think
It's
he's
on,
logged
like,
into it, so he probably hasn't.
He was by the mountain on the left side of our settlement, of our like towers.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to hijack it back later. We'll see. I'm gonna get Finn to help me. I'm so terrified of losing my account somehow, so I need to be careful.
Poor Jargon.
Okay, so this this Reservoir Raid, Nations Cup thing. My question, and this is what I really wanted to ask the older states, is this going to cause more people to abandon old accounts to make ones in new accounts because they're opening more things? There's so many more things that are happening in newer states. I feel like they really are leaving the older states in the dust, and they're like trying to just lure people in with new things.
Make it as
tantalizing
as possible.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I just
you know the poker concept of being like pot stuck, right?
No, tell us. Explain it.
It's basically that you have so much already bid on the hand that you'll continue playing it just because you feel like, well, I'm already in for like $1,000 plus another 200, right?
Right.
That's look at. I'm just gonna bring you into it. Delete. Look at you. You're in 125, right? I'm not gonna say miserable, but there are times where you're not happy with 125.
I love 125.
As Apex says, delete, come to 359 now.
And then you look at possibly playing in 359, but then you realize how much you've invested in 125 and you can't move over, right? So what they've effectively done is create a system where if you've invested in your first account, you're basically feeling like you're pot stuck, like you've already invested so much in your initial state that kind of like what you're talking about earlier, your second base becomes like a free to play. Yeah. And at what point do you start saying, well, I'm going to stop investing in my first account, which I've already invested X amount, and I'm going to start investing in my second one if you're a spender? That's what they're trying to get you to convert to, because that is when they make the most money, right? Ultimately, it's when you switch from that already developed very high level account into this new account that you're going to try to build up to where you had left off, which means now they've kind of doubled up on that money, right? They've doubled up on the money in your first base. They're now doubling it up in your second. So the more they incentivize you to play in the newer states, the more they're trying to convert you and kind of leave behind your original state, move to your newer one, spend on that one, build that up, and then try to do it again. And chances are, like 6 months down the road, when they come out with state like 1,242, that one's also going to have some new features that we're going to be like, oh, those are really cool. Maybe I should start a new base. So you start a new base there. It's like, oh, those features are really nice. And then how long before you leave your current state and you move to that one? Like that's the premise. And it's the whole concept is basically like a poker concept where you just already bid so much that you just don't think you can leave. You can't fold your hand.
I think a lot of people are, I think the merger talk, right, really prolonged a lot of people from leaving the game outright. I think a lot of those people, without that merger talk, might have already recreated a base and started spending again.
Well, that comes.
But I think
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So like that comes to like the point where it's like, oh man, like I really like playing the game, but I spent all this money, so let me just keep this account going. Maybe I'll start another one. But then you start to realize as soon as you start another base how labor intensive the beginning of the game tends to be. Like when you start a new settlement, the beginning of the game, everything restarts. You have to watch all of the videos. You have to watch all the tutorials in the beginning. You've got to do the step-by-step process. The everything's 10 minutes, so it takes you time. And then you're like, you know what? This free-to-play base that I was kind of setting up is now I sort of play it. And then those people are like, oh, merge is coming out. Now I don't even need to sort of play that. I can just kind of wait. I think if they would have just came out with like here's what we're going to do for this state. We're going to give you a 40% discount on everything you buy for the first 6 months of this new state. I think people would have jumped at that chance.
Ooh.
I think people would have jumped at that chance. I think that would have probably been a simpler way to do it. We've changed the game. We can't take away what you spent. We aren't going to try to, but we're going to discount you spending in the game for the future if you still want to play the game. Because you're right. People feel like, I've already invested this. I might as well just go ahead and keep running my dailies, and playing with the 40 people that are still playing in my state. That's awful.
Well, you brought up a good point about like how people have been waiting. They've been holding on for the merger, right? They were going to quit. Then this merger talk happened. So now they're like holding on. Fury actually said it as well. This is another option that might happen is people are going to get pissed and say, you know what, I've been waiting for this merger and this is the only reason why I'm playing this old state. And now they're releasing yet another very labor intensive, game intensive, dev invested event that they could have took that and focused it on trying to figure out this merge situation. So I'm done. Does that mean that people are going to be quitting the older states and now they're just really focusing on new players coming in? Or are they going to still focus on the merge? Because, that's what I'm a bit upset about, I think. I think it's cool that they're trying to bring in all this new stuff. And I do think that the RR Nations Cup is cool. It's something different. It's something fun. The spenders have got to have something interesting for them to do as well. And I think it's cool for the big guys. But, it's like, come on, dude. There's still so many things that need to be fixed in this game. I wish they would kind of fix those for the first 600 states. I mean, gosh.
Not to mention it's such a small amount of people that will be in that event. What'd you say, 4 teams, 4 alliances from each region?
Yeah,
16 people. I mean, that's 16 alliances,
people
right?
Total, and then that's 30 people from each alliance. So it's not a lot. It's 120 people.
It's not a lot at all. It's not a lot.
Out of the thousands that play the game.
I think,
you're not really helping many people.
I think they tried to make it sound like it was you had a really good chance because it's the top teams from the 4 different regions, 4 top teams from 4 different regions. Like, it sounds like a lot, but when you put it in perspective to how many states are open during that period, I mean, they opened a lot of states, and that's not a lot. It's not a lot at all.
I mean, I don't know. It'd be cool if there was some kind of way that there was something that made a super group, because there's a lot of people that are like, I'm awesome at this game. Let me tell you how awesome I am. Nobody knocks me out of a tower.
Yeah.
But then when you actually do it and you're actually playing other competition, it'd be cool to set up a super group, because then you'd be like, oh yeah, you used to talk a lot of crap, but I see you down here and you're not really doing much. I was like, you didn't even get that skin, that would kind of get that enthusiasm.
You mean like an individual tournament, like an individual tournament kind of way where we battle it out, a couple people. Because
the all-time leaders in the game, whenever you put the massive leaderboard up there, and you're like, wow, Fury's.
Yeah, she wants to knock you
up there.
She wants to knock you hard, man. Fury said, she said it's frustrating that the one thing people keep bringing up is still not figured out, and the effort to figure it out doesn't seem like it's there. And I do agree. But at the same time, we don't see what's happening on the dev side. We only see we only know what they tell us. So I feel like if they would communicate that, hey, we are still working on this. These are the problems that we're seeing. This is what we're trying to figure out. They did that one communication with us, but that just said, it's postponed. It didn't really give us a time frame. And now this came out. It just really seems like they stuck the mergers and stuff on the back burner, which is not a good look. If you've got so many people hanging on that have spent so much money waiting on the merger, and now the only thing that you're giving them to incentivize them to play is to spend more money in another state, I don't know. I feel like it was kind of thinking it was a bad decision. I don't know. What do you think, Finn?
You kind of hit the main issue of all of this. There's a failure to communicate.
Yeah.
That's ultimately what it is, right? We have no idea what is going on with state mergers. And state mergers is honestly the only reason why, like Delete said, like Furry is saying, it's the reason why some of the older players are still hanging around, is because they're waiting to see what exactly happens with state mergers, because the way that some of the older states are, it's just non-competitive. It's boring. It's the same things over and over again, right? You're facing the same alliances. There's still the same dynamic. Nothing is changing. It's all these like weird times for people that they're playing. There's no rotate. Like, mergers are what is keeping a lot of the veteran players still playing. And the problem is there is no communication. We've had two kind of quote unquote communications, and both of them were kind of rescinded, right? We got one kind of in the SOS Discord that was deleted, and then like another one that was like a screenshot from a dev that shouldn't have been posted, right? So I think have those been the only things we've seen about mergers at all? I think that's been it.
Well,
so
yeah, that's really
technically we've had nothing like official ever come out about the merger. I think we only had the one message after that screenshot came out saying that they're looking into it, they're talking to other development companies, whatever it is. So I think there needs to be a little bit more, not necessarily full details. Like, I understand it's a complicated.
Nikki, mute.
She's eating her microphone. Leave her alone. What? She's fine. Just let her.
Oh no! It was rubbing against my zipper. Sorry, the microphone was rubbing against my zipper.
There are way too many questions to be asked from that statement.
I don't know. Tell me more, pretty lady.
No, we don't need to ask anything else. No, we don't need to know.
Like
we don't know. No. We don't need to know anything about that. But for those of you in chat, if you're gonna lay awake at night wondering,
in here.
That's what I'm saying. So for those of you that are gonna think about this at night
work.
and wonder why Nikki's microphone was rubbing up against her zipper, make sure you stay awake at night while drinking zombie coffee, because it'll help you stay awake at night to think about Nikki and her zipper. There you go. So,
no, I'm wearing
Let me get my microphone
that have
warmed
a
up.
mic on them. You weirdo.
Such a
I'm
weirdo.
wearing microphones that have a microphone. Oh my god.
Yep. She really loves SOS. That's just
I'm wearing headphones that have a microphone, and it rubs up against the zipper of my sweatshirt. Okay.
Merge it up. Merge it up.
Jesus Christ.
Everyone's like working. Okay, Nikki, she really loves SOS. So, Jay Cockaday, nice to see you. Thanks for dropping by. Okay, what else were you saying, Finn? That was it. We were just kind of.
Yeah. So that was pretty much it. Like, they just need to increase the communication, talk a little bit more. We need like actual kind of official post. Doesn't need to be full details, because obviously the whole state for state thing is definitely complicated. I think all of us understand that. We've come up with different ideas. None of them are perfect. None of them probably ever will be perfect. It'll be kind of the least bad option is what you're going to have to go with. What is going to keep you the highest retention of players? Because if you're going in trying to find the perfect solution, you're going to screw yourself over, right? It's the perfect is the enemy of good sometimes. And
yes, absolutely.
So 100%. They have to give us periodic updates about where they are in the process. Doesn't have to be full details. Doesn't have to be anything that we're going to come back and bite them in the butt for saying, right? Because if they say they're going to do X, Y, and Z, we don't want them changing it later on. So don't give specifics, but give us a general idea as to where you are with the process, and let players know to exactly what Furry is talking about. It doesn't feel like they're doing anything. Yeah. Well, we're pretty sure they are. They're just not communicating anything. So they need to give us something in order to, honestly, they need to put a carrot on a string for the players. That's pretty much what it is. Put the carrot, stick it on the string, put the stick out there, and just let us slowly follow until you actually get it done. So,
well, somebody said, Apex, I think it was, it said if the bottom line is if they want to make a merge for older states, they need to find a way to bring older states up to the same level that newer states are at feature-wise, because of course they can't take things away and give things blah, 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 blah. He said there's no way to merge older states with newer ones if they both have completely different systems. But then Fury made a really good point. She said, honestly, at this point, I just want to simply merge players and I enjoy from a specific state. I don't even care about the breakdown between old and new. And I honestly think she's onto something with that people right now, they're facing either quitting Basically, that's what they're facing, is quitting or making a whole new investment, and they don't want to do that. I don't know that people would be so mad about merging and them not getting some kind of, back pay or you know what I'm saying? I don't think they would care as much as people are worried about, to be honest. Do you think so, Delete? Let's say you, with your new account, would you care that you didn't get anything if you could merge into it like 359?
If I could put my base right now from 125 and 359, and they said, all right, we're going to average the top three players' amounts of troops and just steady you out at that level, and not make you any cost, I'd be like, okay, like, all right, I understand. Because at that point, what I'm doing is I'm basically, even if they just took away, all right, we're going to take away the troops that you didn't pay for, unless you're paying for it with reserves or something like that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you log in and you just run your 13 hours, to build your 1,300 troops. And then, you wake up and you're like, all right, let me just build some more troops. If they took all those away, I'd be like, all right, that's cool. I feel like that's okay. Like, I know that doesn't go against like the mobile gaming, like we can't take money away from you, but we can go ahead and do this. That would be okay. What I'm looking to do is prolong my gaming experience. The other thing is, and Fury brings it up, is a lot of the players that are still playing in old states are playing because of the relationships that they have created in game. Because they've been together for a year and a half, or even in some cases even longer than that. So to go ahead and just break apart those pieces, that kind of sucks. Like you're like moving everyone to a new school. You know what I mean? You're like this hot shot freshman, and then next thing you know, you go to a completely different school, and you've got to start back over again. And you're like, yeah, oh, I don't even know if I want to. These people seem kind of weird. Like it's like you've got there's a lot of things that they have to take into account for, and I get that. I mean, but I also understand that there are a lot of other games that do this.
Yeah.
And they figured it out.
There's a way to do it. Yeah, I agree.
Like without like changing their like cost and benefit analysis, they still there are other games that have done this. And now and I also understand that like this game has been extremely successful. From when we started to now, this company was probably like, all right, we made like maybe $1 million. Now they're making multiple. And on the App Store and have our shows to kind of like lean on and so on and so forth, that they could do something, that makes sense, whether it's a discount, whether it's stripping the account, whether it's changing the account, whether it's allowing a group to move, merging old states, putting together whatever, at the end of the day, people just still want to be playing and they just don't want to throw money at you for no apparent reason. There's something out there. There's definitely an answer, and they can do it multiple ways. And chances are that the population is going to conform to just about any way that they do it.
Well, there's a good thing. There's a very good way that is not utilized for them to know whether the population would, because it's one thing to throw stuff out onto Discord, and nothing against Discord or the servers and the way people voice their opinion on Discord. Actually, there is something away. It's a lot of dumpster fire. Responses. They have a system built in the game with surveys and polls. If they would put one out to everyone and ask them, everyone in the older states, asking them, what would you prefer? Would this be acceptable? Would you find this is not acceptable? And, give some surveys out to the older players. That would give them some feedback on whether or not they could get away with this, whether they could make this happen. And, I just think they don't utilize the surveys well.
I mean, at this point, it's what's going to piss the people off less.
Yeah,
you could
because
definitely
you're not going to make
answer
everybody happy. You're not going to make everybody happy in this situation because nobody's happy right now. So it's worth a try, I would think.
There's
you
one
just
other
make
part,
people
though.
less unhappy,
Happiness is one part. When you start taking, you mentioned it a little bit, Delete, and you might be okay with it, but I'm pretty sure not everyone will be. If you paid for something and then you lose it, you might have a percentage of the population that's happy with it. That's how you end up in lawsuits. Just
Sure.
flat out. There's a legal part to this also that I don't want to like just gloss over. Like, I understand we're trying to make it so that everything works, right? And that's fine. But when you start making it so that you're going to move one account from one state to another, and if you're removing something that they paid for, potentially like delete, if you're moving from 125 to 359, and they're making your new account the average of the top 3 in 359, that could still be like a few $1,000s that suddenly you no longer have, that you have spent in this past year, right?
Right.
That's not something most people will be happy about. No, I shouldn't say most. There will be some people that will not be happy about it. The survey may say most people will be fine with it, but all it takes is those few to put a lawsuit against a terms of service, and that can screw over everything. So
Sure.
What
Very
if they
true.
gave the option though? What if they
So
gave you the
that's
option
what they would have to do.
it? This is your option. You go here, but you're signing when you say, I want to do this jump and I want to do this merger. I am forfeiting my money that I have invested in to get back or whatever. If they gave you the option to do it, so that way they're not automatically taking it.
Yep.
It's your
They
choice.
would have to put a very strict disclaimer. Exactly. You would have to have a very strict disclaimer if you were going to do something like that. The other option, though, is potentially you don't lose your other account. You could say that if you have spent certain amount of money, you can create one in a newer state for a new value at a discounted rate that would keep you, let's say, in the top 3. So instead of you losing your account, you keep your account in 125. You do with it what you will. You have invested in it. But because you have spent already that much in 125, I'm just going to throw numbers out there, and I don't need to know the specifics, Steve. But let's just say that you spend $10,000 on your account in 125. In 359, the top 3 have averaged, let's say, about 7,000, just because it's a newer state. They will say, well, you spent $10,000 on your state. Instead of 7,000, we will allow you to create a new account at 5,000. We'll give you that discounted rate. You get your second account, and you can create that. That's also another option where now you create a second base at a discounted rate, kind of with the VIP status of what you did with the other one, and then you can potentially move over too. That too has its little problems here and there, but
that doesn't solve the problem of wanting to jump with your alliance, because your other alliance members won't be able to do that. Or not all of them would be willing to do that, or
but that
able
happens
to do
with
that.
any that happens with any solution that you pick, right? So not everyone in your alliance is going to want to lose a few $1,000s that they invested in the game if you move from one state to another, if you go with the first idea, right? They may not want to spend the additional $1,000 if you create a new account in there. Like it's if you're looking for an alliance transfer, and this was my idea back a while ago, right? Which is just a full alliance transfer. You don't mix old states and new states. So that's the first thing. All old states have to stick with old states. You figure out how to create a kind of a demographic, and you create a new state altogether of all alliances that say we want to move out of our state. So whoever is the R5, they have everybody queue up, and if you don't want to move with your alliance, you leave the alliance. They have like a 1-week period where it's basically like this alliance is going to move to new state 125X, let's just say. That's what they're calling it. They'll put like an X for one of the merged states, and every alliance in every old state has the option of doing that. And then they distribute it so that there are multiple states being made, and you have those tiers of different alliances being made.
But that still defeats the purpose of the whole, like, older players want the newer game. The newer game is, honestly, in my opinion, more fun.
There's no way that's going to happen. The newer game is too different. That's like any other game where you have an expansion and you have the old one and you have the new one, and you're like, oh, well, I want the newer one. Well, you have to buy the newer one. It's a different game entirely. You can continue playing the original, or you have to go to the new one.
You also have to understand.
But it's also
Go ahead, Nikki.
Go ahead, Nikki.
No, I was just going to say it's also different for everybody because, I play in both and I prefer the older state. I think analysis centers are dumb.
I love them.
Super dumb.
I love them.
I hate
I don't like
them.
the.
I hate
I don't like how you have to be like on alert for 24 hours. I don't like that.
I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like that our territory is all over the place, that you have to be touching the center to be able to attack it. If they're going to add new buildings like that, it should be treated almost exactly the same as bunkers. I don't know. I think it's ridiculous.
Well, it was a
There
way
are
to
a lot
keep
of
a
things.
monopoly.
The research, I hate our research. There's not nearly as much. You can't get as many boosts as you can in 125. I don't like new. If I'm comparing old versus new, I prefer old, like 10 times over.
I think I would like a mix of both. I don't like the tower play in the new states. I don't like how you just have to spend like afternoons and like days just going ahead and planning out like where you're going to put towers, to go ahead and establish territory.
But some
I
people
don't
do like
really
that.
like that. True. And there is,
Look at Finn
it's a
here.
different,
Finn
it
loves
is,
it.
oh my God. I remember when I was still signing in every day to 359 and be like, I've got 116 new emails, and they're all because a tower was placed.
Yep, and they're all say the exact same things. Finn the Annoyer has built a tower. Finn the Annoyer has destroyed a tower. Finn the Annoyer has created a tower. Finn the Annoyer has destroyed a tower.
But one thing that I wanted to say about like, and this is true across all mobile games. When you buy a pack, it doesn't tell you that this is more than just what the pack is offering. It doesn't insure you. It's not like you're buying a piece of stock. It doesn't say that you own a piece of the company forever. It just says it gives you this. That's it. It doesn't say that because you bought this, you get to play the game forever. It doesn't say anything like that. It just says you bought this and you got this. Right? Mm-hmm. Now, like, everyone that has spent that money is like, oh, but I spent all this money. Great. If you go to a restaurant, you buy a lobster, you have a 12-person table and everyone has lobsters and steak. You go back tomorrow and you're like, hey, I just went back and I bought lobsters and steaks yesterday, and they're like, fucking great. Good for you. What are you going to buy today?
Yeah.
So like, you have to keep that in mind. You really do. Even though it's a mobile game, you have to really do keep in mind when you buy something in a mobile game, it's just for what you are buying at that point. There is nothing promised to you after that.
Yeah.
So I can understand. Well, hey
Yeah,
man,
the
I
terms
helped you
of
build up
service-
your company. Can you help me out? Like,
The terms of service state very clearly that they have the right to rebalance and change the game in any way that they want to. But then I think at the same time, though, what Finn was saying, though, if what you're buying has the intent that you're going to be able to use it a certain way, and then they take that away, then of course, yeah, it's different.
Yeah, but I mean, you can still use it in your old state. It's not my fault that people quit and they're not playing, and in a perfect world, not for nothing, in a perfect world, I think there is a mesh of old and new, and there is a land where they both live. The Alliance Farm is a cool idea. I think the old research is better than the new research.
The Hero Academy is fantastic. I think that's probably the biggest problem that they're going to have is the frags and like the books, the skill books, and all the stuff that we've put in.
State 1000. That's where it's going to be. It's going to be the next generation of states that are generated. That's going to be some kind of conglomerate. And then those that are in 359 are going to have the same discussion. The new states are a lot better. Do I want to make a new alt in these new alliances and start over because that system is better? The tower play is easier. You still have the Hero Academy. Whatever else it is, right? They'll probably create a new set of states that have these improvements. It's just going to be that constant evolving thing. And you're playing in your state with what it's set up as, and then you have to decide, are you going to spend to play in another state or not? Like, the mergers are likely going to stay within that realm. That's the biggest thing, because there's too many incompatible things between all the different states to allow for the merger, right?
I feel like
talk about the tower play.
No, I feel like I completely agree. It's not about the tower play. It's not about new versus old. But the only thing that I can see if I put like my lawyer hat on would be the fact that like in Alliance Throwdown, we go against states that are in the newer system. So that's a bit wonky
Yeah.
because it's
It
like,
is.
you can't tell me that like my account that I've already built up in 125 should be going against a state like 359 that can still do a lot more. They can still achieve the like badges and chief gear and stuff like that, and like try and force me into the same category where I'm like, all right, I've got to play against these same people because the biocap distribution in the new state's completely different.
Yep.
The the way that different things have changed value is also extremely different. Like in 359, it's like, oh, an alliance relocator is really expensive, but in 125, it's really not that bad.
Yeah.
And you start to see the different cost analysis across the entire game because 359 got crates of choice a lot faster than 125 did, and then skill books are no longer of value, and I'm still paying for those in 125.
Yeah.
So then it's like, hey, you can't go ahead and say that we're the same in these things and then not say that we're the same in these things.
Mhm.
So that's like the biggest thing where they're starting to muddy the waters. And any dev watching the show, please understand that you're already making things difficult by the way you're starting to introduce things in game. So
Yeah.
And Apex just said it too. We face, and Reservoir Raid is another one where you can face older states as a newer state, and that
We,
can
Right.
we
be
just had 140 and 359.
yeah.
yeah.
So
And
they do need to
they
separate.
do their
those.
best. Yeah, they do their best to like hide it. They don't always show you the state that you're facing.
Yeah.
You really got to dig to find like the state that you're facing, and you're like, what? You're what?
Mhm.
And then we had Jeremy on, who's like, he's got a large list of spenders in his state, and he's going against much older states,
Yeah.
and they're fighting each other. And then I was like, he was like, yeah, we're 1-6 in SVS, and I'm like, what? I
Yeah.
think we've lost in 125. We lost 2, and I'm like, I thought we were a spending state, for where we had 3 max players, and then it was like, wow, they've got like 10, and it was
4.
just like,
I think we
oh,
have 4. No, actually, we have like 5 now.
5. Right.
So
Because
5.
Mike and Ryden and I think Mikey
one-
might be too.
Yeah, well, because he's Likey's. And
No,
then,
Mikey in HOK.
Really?
I think so. If not, he's close.
Wow.
So I want to give a shout out to Nowie Subs. That's a new name I think I haven't seen yet. So welcome to the stream. He said the only thing that worries me is that SOS might be putting state mergers in the back closet. They just don't want to be honest about it. They will just try to improve state versus state interactions. And that is actually what we said a bit earlier in the stream, that we really do think that this might be a diversion, kind of like, oh, here's this new shiny thing while we're still working out what we're going to do with the state merge. We just wish, which is fine. I understand if they can't figure it out yet, okay. Just tell us that, or give us more communication about what you're working on or what some of the ideas, maybe do some surveys as to what some possible solutions and let us vote on it. I do think Finn is right about it'll probably have to be within zones. Like the merges will have to be within old states, mid states, because now they're going to have new states that are going to have, like you said, newer things. Because that honestly hit me pretty hard when he said that, because 359 is going to be an older state eventually that has completely different things that a new state that's going to come out with all this new revamp stuff too, because they're not doing it from old up, they're just releasing new states with new stuff. So I think they are going to have to do the merges within zones, so to speak, and that wouldn't be bad, to be honest. It's not, I don't think that would be terrible. It would suck because I think the new stuff is better, but like you said, Nikki doesn't like it. Delete, there's some things you don't like about it. So if they did do a big old merge for the older states, it would be a lot of fun. I would love to see Fury and Delete battling it out, like that would be fun. So maybe they'll talk about doing something like that. I don't know.
I would love to get after Fury. and launch one rally at her and then join her alliance. Before it even landed.
My only like major request in merging would be similar to what we talked about, is if you decide to go to an older state, like, okay, so let's say, you know, we're on Gen 5 heroes now? 5, 6?
Yeah.
5, right?
What are we
It's
on?
5.
In what? In 359?
125.
You guys are beyond 5, aren't you? 5 is what
6? Are we on
359 is
6?
on.
Then maybe it's 6. Well, so
I guess they consider it 6 because they had the whole swap.
They had
Yeah,
the
you had the
AB.
4-5 thing, right? So I think you guys are on 6 and 359 is on 5.
so
Brooke and
my
everything
only
is-
Who's your strongest hero, Finn?
It's like the gen with Brooke.
We have Brooke.
Oh yeah.
That should be
Yeah,
5. 'cause
they
I think you
didn't get. We didn't get in 359. We
The
didn't
Gen
get.
4
What were
ones.
their names? Oh, Zach,
Yeah. They didn't-
Ernie, and
Yeah.
Jarrett.
They didn't
Yeah.
do
We
those.
didn't get them there, so there was no swap. It went straight to Julie, Brooke, and Tyler.
Mhm.
So anyway, whatever fucking number we're on, my biggest thing would be that whatever the cutoff is now. So let's say state 400 has Gen 4 and state 399 has Gen 5. That should be a cutoff for merging, because I don't, and the same thing when it comes to plasma, like states that haven't unlocked it, or states that haven't yet unlocked past 3-star, or states that haven't yet unlocked the plasma research lab, right? I think that those would have to be cutoffs, because you can't, I just feel like you can't mix that, you know? And that's why it would be the same as if I wanted to, you know, like we were talking about moving my account. If I wanted to move my account into state 600, they wouldn't let me take the heroes that I have and you know, the plasma that I have if they don't have, let's say, plasma unlocked yet, you know? So I think that would be an important thing. But other than that, if they wanted to keep it somewhat open, let's say within 100 states or something, so that I wanted to go play with my friends in an alliance in state 225, for example, that I should be allowed to do that, as long as I'm not crossing that line into a state that doesn't have the shit that I have.
Yeah.
There was we had the
sense?
talk where it was like, would you port into a new state? What was that? State. Whoa, wow.
All right.
Welcome to the burger.
Like I just got like had someone like Ghost Whoopi Goldberg. Someone just jumped into my body.
Why Whoopi Goldberg of all people?
That's the
Because
Ghost, the movie. Oh my gosh,
Oh.
we're so
She
old.
doesn't like
We're
old movies.
so old. We are so
She doesn't
old.
like
I'm not
old
old.
movies.
I don't.
So it was like
Who is
it was
Whoopi
brought up-
Goldberg?
Okay.
Alex Trebek for 1,000. Oh, rest in peace, that little angel.
Oh my God.
The thing was, like, if you poured into a new state, you would be exactly where you were at that same time frame of that new state. So if you were at day 160, it would see where you were at 160 and 125 and move you into that new state, forfeiting everything that you purchased after, which would be like detrimental to the system, because then it would leave you with like a huge credit on your account, which wouldn't really help them so much, you know, them as in the developer. So you'd have to be very careful in how you did that, because then they'd be giving you money back. They would be retaining a player that would probably continually spend, you know, how far past that credit would you spend, you know, and then it would be almost an unfair advantage
Right.
to anyone that was already in there. So it was like a very sticky thing. You know, you couldn't take
it
like
would be, especially because. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Like Arter, like it would make Arter, you know, like the crazy like billion BP person that he is, which I hear he's also like a super super nice person, um, it would make him moving his account to anywhere else close to impossible. You know,
Right.
because it would be like, wow, you know, we're just giving you like a $40,000 credit. You know, because that's, you know,
Right.
nobody
And
wants to do that.
not like the big spenders necessarily care about, events like survival of the fittest, but if they had that credit, even though you weren't actually spending, it would be really easy for you to get top ranks in an event like that. But aside from all that, that's in regards to if I wanted to move my account. But I'm just saying, for the sake of mergers, that they wouldn't necessarily need to limit it and make it super complicated for themselves, the developers. The only lines they would have to draw, and they could even do it as one big line, it's the line between the heroes and the plasma, because obviously I should not be able to merge into a state that doesn't have, I'm only 3-star, but if I were a 5-star, I shouldn't be able to merge into a state that doesn't have 5-star unlocked yet.
Right.
Because that would be unfair to any of the states
Anyone that was
not
there.
in my alliance. Right.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. That would be the major line that they would have to draw. But other than that, it doesn't have to be super complicated. It doesn't have to be 125 and 126 now have the option to merge. It should be, I can merge with 210 if I want to, or with 93, and if half of my alliance wants to come with me, cool, we can all go together. Or we can decide as a whole if our entire alliance wants to go. It's the same as merging two alliances together, right? Sometimes people are cool with the merge and want to go, and sometimes they don't. And sometimes the alliance you go into, they're not all cool with it either. So it would be the same thing. Would all of law move to another state? I guarantee they wouldn't. But would a lot of people want to go? Yeah, probably. And we'd all stick together. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm being too hopeful. But
I think the issue is for the older states, right? Like Fury's example, if Fury merged with 41 and 43, how much does that help them? I don't think that really takes the this is so much better.
Yeah, the inactivity
right.
will still be a problem.
Because then you're just really yeah. Because then it's like, all right, now you're giving like a range. Now you're just giving like a super giant alliance like Fresh Blood to just go ahead and stomp out and resurrect, because their overall attack is never going to be equal because they've been playing for so much longer than everybody else.
Yeah.
So then they're like, oh, all their stats are going to be unequal because they still go back to like not being able to play much else besides the fact that I could beat Fury one-on-one on a farm.
Oh, you're going to get it. Wrath of Lamb.
Lord.
Wrath of the Lamb is a new one in chat. He said, I want to see a globe with 7 continents. All states right now should be consolidated into a continent while new states open up in a new continent. First continent is Wrath Country. Next different name.
Yeah,
that's
what's
a good
idea. Counties, by the way? Does anybody understand that?
So they took that, to be honest, that's a Game of War thing. And Fury was with me. She played Game of War too. Each kingdom had a different name. And it was like a different county or a kingdom. So I don't know why they didn't change that. Or I don't know if they were going to do that and just never implemented it. But it's really weird.
I kind of assumed that after a certain number of states, they'd have another county. Yeah. But they don't. And we're in 600 something all in one. Like, what's the point?
I think the intent was to merge it all into Wrath County and then have a different whole county of newer states, but they haven't figured they released too many things and now they can't do the merge. So I think that's maybe what it was.
For the record, counties are smaller than states.
Yeah, they are.
I'm just gonna throw that out there. It's very confusing that the states are combining to form a county.
We know this.
What about an Australian county? Could that be bigger than an American?
I'm pretty sure it's not, but I don't know Australia. So all of this can be Australia continent, and then we will change this all for the next ones. Just.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think, what is our final statements here? Because we've been rambling about this for a while, and all good points. Communication. Tell us Letty said nerd.
Hey, hey, hey. Don't be speaking truth in chat. Hush you.
Yeah,
That's
I got
my
some
favorite.
truth. I got some truth dropped on me.
That's
so.
my favorite meme to throw at Finn whenever he starts talking. I do that Spider-Man that says, "What the fuck is this nerd shit?" You know, have you seen that one where he's like, there's test tubes everywhere and he's just like throwing his hands up? It's my favorite thing. I've used it on Finn since I met Finn like years ago. It's my favorite one. So the final thing is communication, right?
Yeah.
Like big thing, communication. Tell us what's going on with the merge, especially when you're bringing out the new and shinies and everybody's still kind of waiting on it. I feel like this is gonna either make people jump or it's gonna make a lot of people quit because they feel that the merge is not coming out. Go ahead.
Communication both ways, though, is what I think is lacking, because look at us. We're here every Friday talking about the game, talking about what we don't like about what they did, and talking about how they could do it better. And even things that they've talked about doing, how they can get it done, how they should get it done. And it's still not done, and they still haven't moved forward at all. And we're not the only people that do a stream. Plenty of people do it. Plenty of people, you know, submit suggestions to mods that they ask to be submitted to developers, etc. But are they listening to any of our feedback, any of our suggestions? So communication is lacking in both directions. Not only are they not talking to us, but they're not listening to us, even though we're trying to talk to them. I feel like, you know, granted, I'm not some crazy coder, like I don't know half the shit that Finn knows, but I'm sure there are people out there that are giving them suggestions on how to implement the stuff that they've talked about. And it would make it so easy, so much easier for them if they just listened or read any of it. I mean, I'm afraid that half the stuff that we send doesn't even make it to the people it should be making it to.
Yeah, so. Like I think you hit the nail on the head too, because like our stream is just our Friday night, like, oh, let's just come up with little ideas and we discuss. It's more of a panel discussion. We're talking about a game we enjoy playing together as friends. But there's some streamers out here that are legit hardcore. Leo is a part of a group too, like with Teddy. They are actually delving in and trying to like figure out the mechanics of the game a lot more hardcore than we are. Finn might be and Delete might be, but you know, I'm just kind of here for the ride. But they really are. And I am in a couple of the content creator chats where they're giving good feedback. They're giving good suggestions. And I don't know if it's being worked on. Now, granted, we don't know. It might be in the background being worked on somewhere, but they just don't tell us that it's being worked on. So like you said, it's a lot of frustration, Nikki, when we're like telling them what would be good. Even though we're not coders, we are gamers and we play a lot of these types of games. We all have played these types of games before. So we know that things that we want can happen in a game. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you know, like, they do take a lot of the things that we say in this stream and actually put them into action. We've seen it a lot, actually.
Yeah.
There's like a ton of things, not the percentage-based troop marches or extra marches, period, formations that you can save. You know, not those. But there are a lot of other things that they've actually kind of put into effect in the game, you know, that we've talked about.
Yeah.
You know, like, and unfortunately, you know, one of the suggestions we had was like, hey, it'd be nice if like other people that join the rally actually made a difference. So now all fortresses and facilities, if you appoint a different leader in those fortresses and facilities and bunkers, you know, actually make a difference. But now it just makes it where everyone has to double rally everything to make anything work. And it's like, why did we say that?
Yeah.
You know, like now every bunker and facility in 125 goes for 2 hours. It's just, you're just locked in for 2 hours.
It's like a lot of the suggestions, they take it and then they make it, they try to fix it with some of the suggestions and make it worse in a way.
Yeah. You know, and that's our own fault, because it's like, you know, like they're actually doing it and we're like not testing it and we're just saying it and it just happens and it's just like, wow, that was a mistake.
Leo said, I am waiting for their 4 things they communicated on social platform. I am too. I'm a bit perturbed that it's only 4 answers, but there's so many questions that we submit, and then they give 4 like every couple weeks, every month they give some 4 answers. So, and some of those answers are really good. I do like it. And one of them was the merge. They answered the merge, but basically what it was soon TM. We're still working on it. We don't know. It's going to be a delay, but this is it. So that's communication? Question mark? Not really, because you're not really giving us like substantial information about it. So
better than what
it
we
is
used
a
to
start.
get.
I agree. It is a start. The 4 answers is better than what they were doing. So I'm not going to knock them for not. They are getting better, but they still, for this game to make this much money, they need to do better than what they're doing now. Still, they still need to do that continual growth. They can't just say 4 answers on Facebook is enough. They need to do more than that, I think. Am I being unrealistic, Finn, with that?
No.
I don't think so.
I'm not Finn, but I'm going to answer anyway.
Well, you can be Finn. I need to go, so.
I think,
No, we're wrapping it up in a minute. Go ahead, delete.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is every game that you play has issues. Like EA Sports puts out games, and like you look at Madden screw-ups, or like any kind of sports game screw-ups, and will drive you absolutely crazy. Warzone just came out, and we're like, yeah, we just suspended like 60,000 accounts or something crazy like that because they were actually cheating, and it was just like, what? Like that's still going on. So to expect an extreme amount, from a mobile game is a lot, so you have to kind of like tailor your expectations. Is all I'm saying.
I suppose, but maybe I just think that if you're making millions and millions of dollars, you can afford to pay some really smart people to figure this crap out. Like,
you would think.
I mean, you can. It's not even you think. You can, so do it, and let's just figure it out. Come on. Get yourself a little brainstorming session with some coffee, and you just sit around and figure it out.
I feel like my price tag to fix this game personally would be around $650K.
Oh, would it?
And if you brought me in, I'd be able to really.
You'd be willing to do that?
Do some things.
Would you be willing to do it for $650?
I would carve into my sleep schedule, and I would make that happen.
How about I will one-up you and say I will do it for $500K. Granted, I don't know anything about computers or coding, but I could say, this is what you do with this little thingy, and you stick this thingy over here, and then you're going to merge these things. $500K, easy.
Yeah. And then someone else is going, oh yeah, for $350K, I can change the color of this button. And that's how we ended up here.
For that $300K, he's the one who put the dust storms when you touch the button everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Or my favorite, which I screenshotted because I thought it was so hilarious, is the intro when you do an update. You know what I'm talking about? You know exactly what I'm talking about.
What, the thing that says you have
Would
new
you like
resources?
to access now or go?
Yes. Here it is. New resources found. Commence loading. Access now or okay?
Not sure what the difference is, but okay seems like the appropriate answer.
Yeah, okay is always my answer. Okay, or I don't know, with the shrug. Okay, guys, so we're going to wrap it up because I said 10:30 and it's 11 o'clock. Nikki, you were supposed to keep me on this.
Was I?
Nikki,
Yeah, you were supposed to keep me on time. And
oops. End the stream. It's late.
Thank you.
Did that work?
Yeah.
Thank you. That
Meanwhile,
works.
you're still at work. You're not even going to be up. You're going to be in 359 SBF the entire time. I'm going to be in like 125 and be like, oh, where's Nikki and Nero? They're like, oh,
The
what?
tyrant-
They haven't been around.
What are you talking about?
Listen, the tyrant just said, I'll do it for Plasma 5 and top 10 account in the brand new state.
Yeah. Then there's going to be someone that's like, I'll do it for 1,000 app food and maybe 50,000 wood.
No, I'll
do it for a hot dog and a beer right
make
now.
Me rip my fucking hair out anymore.
Yeah. About that. Okay, so on that
Jesus.
note, we are going to end. Oh, last gift code is Sir Loki. Everybody that's on, last
been
gift
floating
code.
up there.
Yeah, Sir Loki. I stuck it up there and I forgot to say it out loud. So you have the burger, McLemon, and Sir Loki are the 3 gift codes. You guys grab them. I don't even know what they are for yet. Do you know? I don't know.
No, sugar honey iced tea.
Sugar honey iced tea. We don't know. Anyway, there's your codes.
They're worth more than you got right now. That's what they're worth.
Thank you for...
More than you got right now.
Yeah, more than you have. There you go. Delete, thank you. Nikki, appreciate you coming in. Always a pleasure. I love Nikki. Finn was here for a little bit. We appreciate him.
I love sharing a stream with my right and left hand of justice.
Aww.
My beautiful ladies of law, even though they leave me all the time.
That's what you have to do to that. Still love you, Mr. Wonderful. You'll always be my favorite. Delete.
Oopsies.
You're my favorite.
This is me giving you an air hug through the screen.
Yeah. All right. Night, guys. We have SVS in, what is it, 6 hours?
Less. Yeah, no, 6 hours. 5 a.m.
Okay. So we will see you later. Oh, by the way, I am not going to be on the stream next week. I am going snowboarding in the mountains. Wish me luck that I don't break anything.
Go skiing. It's cooler.
Zoltan is the favorite. Shh. Anthony Ehrman. Anthony Ehrman. Anthony Ehrman. Nice to see you.
Ehrman.
Right in. Yes, so I'm not going to be here, but I'm sure Delete and Finn will figure something out. They'll probably do a boy stream, or Nikki can rate it. I'm not going to be here, so I don't care. I might pop in with some snow.
69 lives.
State 69 coming back on Friday. So we'll see you guys later. Thank you for joining the bunker, and stay safe and make good choices, and we love you.